Why, good morning, my darlings. How are you? How is this deepest part of winter opening up for you? It's a curious time of year, isn't it? Because we've picked up this habit of going hard and hitting the ground running for the new year. And yet, when we look at what winter signifies and what it offers, it's not a lot, is it? There's a stillness in the air. There's a calmness in the air. There's an opportunity for you to just hanker down and be at home and not worry about creating stuff and doing stuff and being stuff and blah, 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 bum, 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 bum. I have absolutely loved this winter so far. And this cold snap is electrifying every cell in my body. And I truly believe that's because I haven't jumped out of the starting block like usual. I've really enjoyed these late mornings and the dark evenings, getting in pajamas early, staying in them for as long as possible, right? I think I can safely say that I really like winter. And I believe that that's because of the understanding and the appreciation that I've gathered from my menstrual cycle, from the inner phases to the inner seasons, to the layers, to the methods, the methodologies, the psychology. You know, when you start to take away the layers of that, you can begin to build a phenomenal relationship with yourself. And this is why I've come in here today, is that understanding the relationship. As I step into this year, I've been privy and incredibly curious about the conversations that we have ultimately with ourselves and how these lead to the conversations that come back to us and our relationships. Working in female health, I have been going out, talking, speaking, listening to women, and the strongest conversation that I've had has been about this imbalance between what certain sexes can do versus female and women. When a man can react to a situation and express himself quite explosively, if a woman does it in the same breath, she's deemed as emotional and she's pulled into the office to be spoken about her behavior. Now, that might seem minor, but when we look at the psychology of how a woman then engages with the opposite sex, and morning, darling, enjoy your commute this morning. I hope it's in the sunshine, sweetheart. How a woman engages then with that person is totally different, because in her mind, she is constantly worrying and firefighting that belief that if she speaks up, if she steps out, if she's bigger than what she is, if she puts a big girl pants on, then she's going to be knocked back down. What does that do for her progression in work? What does that do for her, for the availability to diverse and to create other relationships within that business and that workplace? And with that, you can see an impact on health. You can see an impact on how a woman then becomes quite introverted. She comes inwards excessively to a point where she can't communicate as efficiently as she knows that she can. This then causes frustrations. This then causes anxieties. This then causes bad choices. And they are bad choices for her because her choices are limited. They're not feeding her unique self. So, what are the conversations that you are having with yourself? What are the conversations that you are having with yourself? And how are these encouraging you to move? And I love you. I love you, Ellie. What are these? How are these encouraging you to move? Because your communication and your vocabulary, it's not just what comes out of your mouth, it's what emanates from your body. It's the energy that you give out. That's so much stronger, so much stronger. So coming back to, what are the conversations that you're having with yourself? And this starts with that first day of the year, the belief of what you should be doing, how you should be doing, how many goals have you set, where do you intend yourself to be, like bish bash bosh. Let's take a breath, let's slow down, let's remember that we're in winter, let's look around at the psychology of nature to see that the ground is cold, the air is flat, messages aren't traveling as far as what they can. Why are we broadcasting ourselves when that message isn't going to go as far? There's a massive benefit from approaching seasonality in really harboring and harnessing where you are within the seasons, both externally and internally. And for those that aren't sure about what I'm talking about, when you look at the menstrual cycle, we see that we have the inner seasons throughout the phases. Inner winter is your menstruation. Inner spring is your mid-follicular. Inner summer is your ovulation. Inner autumn is your luteal phase. And each of these gives you a map to traverse the emotional landscape that is you. This allows you to traverse the emotional landscape that is you. And you are emotional. You are emotional. And this is a wonderful thing. This is a wonderful tool to understand and to appreciate. When we are in tune with our emotions, we can begin to cultivate a greater communication that then leads to the relationships that we are looking for to fulfill us, to create the purpose that we are born to create and be part of. What are the conversations that you're having with yourself? How do these make you feel? Like when you listen to that internal narrative, how does that make your body respond? How does that make your body respond? If I'm in the depths of winter and I'm telling myself that I need to be going out, going hard, rushing, my body wants to do this. So if my body's doing this, my communication is also doing that. So there's a conflict in the way that I'm speaking and what I am doing. And this is why there creates confusion within yourself and confusion on the outside. People not listening, people not hearing you, people not understanding you. Are we speaking and spending outside our natural powers and reserves? How are you communicating with yourself? What is the communication? And as we are only a couple of weeks into this new year, how far have you needed to have gone thus far? I encourage you to take a look around, take a moment, anchor your body. And this is something that I offer with all of the women that I work with, is the understanding of how the physical body creates such a communication that supports every aspect of your life. How your body, how you move it, how you feel it creates the deepest expression that allows you to resonate, harmonize, collaborate with life, with people, with your work, everything. I bridge the gap between the mystical and the modern day, between the mind, the body, and the soul. For those women that want to live an adventurous life, this is the way forward. This is bringing your female feminine health from the inside to the outside, so that you don't end up fighting yourself, fighting life. And again, I remind you of coming back to that communication. How are you communicating with yourself? How are you moving? Because that is a communication in itself. And allow everything else to just magnetically come to you. All right, my darlings. Mwah. Have the most awesome day.